I tell the story? Will I tell the story?
How
Okay, years ago, Dickie was down the borough, and he was in the army. And he was only about 18 or 19.
Daddy, if you forget, I'll tell it again for you.
No bother at all, right?
But if you forget something, I'll tell them.
Yeah, no bother, right? So Dickie was sent down with a pair. Yeah, a pair of binoculars and a warm army coat, and told to stand down the borough and look up at the stars and look up and see, can I see any Germans coming in or any English coming in to attack Ireland during the Second World War. So Dickie used to go down every night and look up at the stars and look up at the moon and look up at the sun, even though the sun wasn't there, and imagine and see things and see fall of the stars, and the odd boat would pass up and down through up by the sea, up by the Blackwater, the Blackwater banks. But one night, off in the distance, he heard this noise, and he could see a little flame coming out of the arse of it. I said, "It's a falling star. It's quite a noisy falling star." And he said, "Jesus, it's not a falling star. It's an airplane." So Dickie grabbed his binoculars and his stick. That's all he had, right? It was like a hurl, the end of a hurl, a broken hurl. That's all the Irish Army had back then. It was a handle of a hurl. Very sharp, the ends though. And he ran down towards where this thing landed. And he could see it was a ball of flames, and he could see on the symbols of the plane Nellie in Eppie, he could see that it was a German plane. There was swastikas on it and German signs on it. I said, "Oh fuck," he says. So he runs towards the plane anyway, and it's getting warmer and warmer, and the German fellas or pilots are pulling us out of the plane. There's 5 in a minute. They're pulling themselves out. And Dickie holds up the hurling stick in his hand and he goes, "Hands up!" And the Germans, in their German language, looks at Dickie, and one of them to the other fellow goes, "What?" Dickie goes, "Hands up! Put your hands up!" And one of the Germans says to the other German goes, "Who is this fucking idiot?" He says, right, in German. Now Dickie didn't know what he said. Dickie goes, "No, lads, you're in Ireland." And the Germans go, he say, "Where are we?" "Ireland, I think, yeah. We're in Ireland." And Dickie holds a hand up again and goes, "Hands up!" And Germans go, "Who is this fucking idiot?" That's right. So,
What are they
thinking.
Why do they not understand Dickie saying hands up?
No, because they speak German. Dickie speaks English, you see. So Dickie walks over and looks, and some of the poor old Germans are getting a few scrapes on their legs and arms getting out of the plane. Dickie has a few old bandages and he wraps them, gives them a few bandages. The German says, thank you so. And all of a sudden, Dickie knows the Germans have got their guns with them. And there's 5 of them and only one of Dickie, so it doesn't look good for Dickie's side, does it? And all Dickie has is the end of a hurl, right? So the Germans point a gun and Dickie goes,
But Dickie has more because he has Nanny and all.
yeah, but still he doesn't have him there with him though. And the Germans go to him. They point their guns at him and goes, "Where are we?" And he goes, "We're in Ireland." And they look at each other and goes, "Yeah, Ireland, oh, it's okay." They point the guns at Dickie again and goes, "Take me to your leader." And Dickie goes, "Me leader? Yeah, your leader." And Dickie goes, "Oh, that'll be my mother. I'll bring you up to the mammy's house there now." So the Germans go, "Your mother?" And Dickie goes, "Yeah, my mother." And says, they look at each other again and goes, "Fucking idiot," right? So that goes on for a while. And Dickie only has one bike on the way up. And they all have to share the bike all the way up, and they're kind of laughing and smoking fags and having a bit of crack and all the usual stuff. So Dickie opens the gate of Granny's house. No, Granny's house there. And they walk in, 5 Germans behind him. And he opens the door, and Granny's sitting by the fire. And she's watching telly. A very, very early version of Judge Judy's on Nellie, right? I just watched that. And they're going, where is your leader? And he goes, she's there sitting by the fire. Your leader? And she goes, yeah, that's me leader, that's me mother. They're going, oh, this fucking idiot, the Germans say, right? So this goes on back and forth, and Granny goes, lad, sit down or that, you had a hard old night, you've been bombing England all night long, you're going to be tired, and we get the tea on. So they put the tea on anyway, and the Germans sat down, and the Granny started making cups of tea, handing out cups of tea. Oh, they loved the tea, sugary tea, 3, 4, 5, 6 spoons sugar in a cup of tea, loads of milk. Oh, they loved it. Then she goes, do you know what, lads, I got some lovely apple tart, she says. Oh, Mrs. Fortune, you were spoiling us, they said. Take off your jackets there, lads, relax, she says. Enjoy yourselves. So the boys took off their jackets, left them all, everything down by the fire, their guns and all down by the fire. And Granny brings them apple tart. Oh, one slice, 2 slices, 3. It wasn't enough. She had to go through about 3 or 4 apple tarts. All the Germans were stuffed. More tea, more apple tart. And the boys were all sitting off. They had to open their top button in their trousers. Oh, they were like sitting off. This reminds me of my grandmother's apple snapping back in Bavaria. All this kind of talk was going on, Nellie. And said, this war is a cursed war, and why should we fight, and all this kind of stuff. And they were reminiscent, and next minute, then Granny, what did she do?
Ask them for your answer.
She grabbed the gun, yeah. Grabbed the first submachine gun she got her hands on. She said, put your hands up. They're going, Mrs. Fortune, put your fucking hands up, she said so. I didn't ask you. I'm telling you. So put your hands up. Hands in the air, like we don't care. The Germans did, right? And she says,
But they understand the Dickie book.
yeah. Oh, do you understand, Granny, when she pointed the gun at him? And she goes, right, lads, here's the deal. You've landed in Ireland. You're happy now. I fed you. You don't go back to the war. Yeah. I need you to do a bit of work for me. Yeah. I want the house painted. Okay. We'll do it in the morning. Grand, she says. So up 7 o'clock that morning, bright and early. The boys were out, the 5 boys were out, and they made scaffolding up. They painted the house. It was clever. It was gorgeous, Nellie. And she had a gun. She kept them feeding them nice food. She goes, hand up. There's a few slates loose in the roof, on it fixed, and a bit of dash done, and a bit of chimney fixed as well. Chimney breast there, falling. Any work she said, once she pointed the gun, the Germans did it, right? The only way they could understand was when they got a gun pointed at them, right? So she pointed away at them, and they did all the work. Did all the work in the garden, did all the work. You know the apple trees in Danny's house? You know our house in Ballyyard?
Yeah.
The Germans actually built that. You know the house where we live, Danny's house?
Yeah.
They built that. They started and didn't finish it because the war had ended. They had to go back. So that's what they did, right, Nellie? Mm-hmm. And at the end of it, anyway, I got to the stage where actually I should have the point to go on. Just get up in the morning to see the Germans. They're very good like that. Once they get into some kind of routine at all, they'll start doing anything for you. So they get up in the morning to go do the vegetables. Next up in the morning, then they clean out the toilet. The next minute they go clean out the pigs. The next minute they go up and they cut the meadow. Next minute they make cocks of hay. Whatever they do, they do for you, you know. So at the end, then they start getting relaxed and start meeting local people. And if you go around Ballygard still, there's them 5 German lads, they're all still alive, they're all very old now. But they've got a family there and their kids still go to the school and all that kind of stuff.
Kids?
Yeah, they've got little kids, well, grandchildren all now at this stage. Yeah.
You mean their stepdaddies?
Yeah, they're all down there. There's all the Germans are living in Ballygard. Yeah, and they go up to the village and you still see them. But the only thing is you don't do when you see the Germans, right? You don't shout at them, right? Because when you shout at them, they still get a shock. They still think that Granny has got a machine gun, even though she doesn't have it. If you shout at them, they'll get a shock. Especially not from behind, because they don't like being taken from behind, the Germans don't. That's a true story, Nellie.
You always said it's not true, though.
What?
But you said it's not true.
What do you think it is?
True.
Not true? What do you think? Is it true, Nellie, Eppie, or not?
Because because Lisa would be a little bit grown up and she would build a house, but only an adult.
Yeah. But do you think the story with the Germans and Dickie in the airplane is true? Okay.
Tell us.
Do you think I've been wasting my time?
Just tell us.
It's true.
Tell us it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true.
No, it's not true. Now do you believe me?
Yes.
Okay, good night, so.
It is real. It is true.
It is true, isn't it?
It's not true.
It is true, isn't it? Do you like the story, Eppie?